Hello everyone. In this video we are going to go over authentication and authorization. So what is the meaning of authentication? So for authentication is to verify if a person is who it is he is saying. So for example, in the case of login, we verify if the person with the username and password, if the person is who it is. So there are other addition to this authentication mechanism, but the basic is we have to verify that the person is who he's saying is. With authorization, we want to verify that the person has the authorization or permission to do something or have the access to access some resource. So these are the difference between authentication and authorization. So to get started, we have already gone over session. We'll use the session has has a base to understand more about authentication and authorization, and we'll go over the example and show you what is the difference between the two. So here you can see, uh, if the user is not, we have two routes or maybe say three. One is for logout, so one is index route or the root route, the second one is login route, and the third one is logout route. So for example, here in index route we are verifying the user is that the user has username is present, the user is present in the session. So what's the meaning of that? So if we go over uh, authentication, we want to verify with something or with the information that the user is provided, that the user that is accessing the information is who it is. So it is a basic structure that formulate the authentication authorization. We just using the username to validate that the uh, user is username is authenticated. We can use various other information to validate. So for example, we can also check the password that the user has typed is correct, or that the user is who it is. So here we are just using the username to validate. So this is sort of authentication. For authorization, authorization, we can see the same index route where we are checking with the session if the username is logged in or not. But here we don't check for any permission or or such. We can validate extra permission also for the case of authorization. So for the simple case, we are just checking if the user is logged in or not with the username. So if the user is not logged in, we would redirect them to a different page. If the user is logged in, we redirect them to the different page. So based on the permission, we uh, we allowed the user to do some operation, and based on if the user doesn't have the permission, we doesn't allow them to do that operations. So the same case we have different type of authentication and authorization mechanism. If you want to learn more about it, you can search in search it through Google. So this is the basic mechanism for authentication and authorization. Let's go and run the example and let's see it in action. So I'm going to start the session file and let's go over to localhost 5000, which is the default port where Flask is get started. So you can see the user is not logged in as of now. The user doesn't have permissions, or it is not authenticated. So that's why we are seeing user is not logged in. So to logged in, we have a login route where we go and provide the information uh, about the user. So for example, if I am providing channel has a login, so when I'm logged in, we are redirect to the root page with the information that the user is logged in. So if I go back and redirect again, as you can see, since we have the permission, we are seeing logged in. We are seeing the information about the logged in user. If I go and logged out, Now we are logged out, and since the user doesn't have permission, we are saying that you must log in to do the operation that you want. So this is the basic mechanism between the authentication and authorization.